Have you ever considered going to Tastemaker Conference? Maybe you've thought about it, but you're not really sure if it's worth the investment. You have to get an airline ticket, you've got to get a hotel, and then there's the conference cost. So the question is, should you go to Tastemaker Conference? My friend Lynn from Fresh April Flowers and I are actually talking about that exact topic in today's episode. Welcome to the Food Bloggers Table. Pull up a chair for authentic conversations and actionable advice from fellow food bloggers and industry experts. I'm your host, Jen, and I create custom food blogs designed to earn top-tier ad income. Join us now at the table as we break bread and build brands. Let's talk about Tastemaker Conference. I know you recently just got back, and I would love to know from a participant and someone who has been, is it worth the investment to go to Tastemaker Conference?
Okay, so I would 100% say yes. This was my third Tastemaker. So the first one I went to was in Chicago and I loved it. It was great. I felt like there were a lot of things that were geared very much towards beginners. And I wasn't the only one who thought that. Just like most conferences, they will ask for feedback and send you a survey and all that stuff. And many of us said the same thing, that we thought it was geared a lot towards beginners and we wanted more out of it, but it was still a worthy investment. I will always say that seeing people in person is worth whatever price that I've paid for that event, especially because there are people that I know so well. And I'm like, wait a second, have I actually ever met that person in real life? Similarly to you, right? We've never met in person, but I'm like, but I feel like I know her really well. And we have inside jokes and I can text her funny. Because that happens on the internet.
Exactly.
So that part of it is always worth it. The year after we all said we felt it was for beginners, they did this really cool thing where they split it up into almost like college courses. So every day there were 2 or 3 sessions and they were broken up into beginner, intermediate, and then expert level. So you could choose which track you wanted. And another cool thing that they've done is they made it like a lecture on the first day. And then the second day, like a hands-on lab, which is really cool because a lot of times you'll get takeaways when people are talking and you're like, but now that I am sitting in front of my computer, what does that mean? What does that look like? So specifically, one of my favorites from this year's Tastemakers, which I got back from not even 2 weeks ago, so it's fresh in my mind, was a talk from my friend Molly, who's from What Molly Made. And she was talking about email, but in a very different way than anyone has ever talked about email before. The way she did a lot of explaining and showing us on the first day, showing us her processes and her SOPs and things like that. And then on the second day, we all worked together, worked as a group. She gave us prompts and we worked exactly through the steps so that we had something tangible to work with before we even left Tastemakers, which was really cool. And I was even implementing mine before I even left Tastemakers, which was really fun. Yes, I think it is worth it no matter what kind of level blogging you're at. There's something for everybody, and there's always time to sit and just meet people. Those are my favorite parts when you're walking in the hallway and you see somebody and you're like, I think I know this person, because you're used to seeing them like
Right, exactly.
You're like, oh, that person's taller than I thought. Oh,
That's what I
that
always am. How tall are you in real life? Because I don't know what to expect. I feel like I need to prepare myself ahead of time.
Yeah, I always get that. Oh, wow, you're shorter than I thought. I'm only 5'3", but I think because I'm loud, people think I'm taller. I don't know.
Same,
Yeah.
same. The personality gives us height. That's what I feel like.
Your bun also helps you. So.
Also true. That's true. Yes.
Yeah. So I think if you are thinking about going to Tastemaker, I think it's a worthy investment, no matter what you're looking to get out of it.
It's going to be a year until the next Tastemaker, but what would a person need to do to prepare ahead of time? Any suggestions from that perspective?
There's no shortage of snacks, so you don't need to bring any snacks.
Good
Unless,
to know.
of course, you have your go-tos that you really need, but they feed you really well at Tastemaker. It's fun to go to the sponsor booths, and sometimes they have samples. This year, it was really cool. It was paired with the Fancy Food Show. Next year, the conference is in LA, and Fancy Food Fair, which I think might just be like a smaller Fancy Food Show, is in San Diego a couple days later. I don't know if I'm going to go to that yet, but I had a lot of fun at the Fancy Food Show this year, which was really fun to meet people who, there were big brands there that you've heard of. There were also other brands that were startup brands. We thought it was really interesting that Tastemakers was on the second floor and on the first floor was the Fancy Food Show. And the people on the bottom floor were trying to learn the things that we know. And the people at Tastemakers, some of us, me included, are trying to like work on a physical product. So it was cool to see the dichotomy between different food content, whether it's like physical or digital, and seeing those two worlds come together was really neat. I think I strayed from your original question, but no, I don't think there's anything you need to do to prepare, except I always bring my computer with me. I know there were a couple posts in some Facebook groups that I saw where people are like, should I bring my laptop? Should I not? And I always tell people there is going to be a time where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to open my computer and see what,
Yes.
looking at your analytics or your email or something. Definitely bring your computer. I'm also a paper and pen kind of girl. So I'm like paper, pen, and computer. I don't want to miss the thing.
Yes. If
Yeah.
only you had more arms to do more things at
Yeah.
once, right? Like an octopus.
Yes. And more than one brain. So I could be writing and listening at the same time. Yeah. All of that stuff. But no, you just got to come with an open mind. And I like to have a vague goal. So yeah, if you're open to learning and having experiences and seeing things through different approaches, you're prepared.
So you would definitely say it's worth the investment. So people should probably try to get early bird tickets as soon as possible.
Yeah. And also, it's going to be in LA in January. I live in a cold climate. So it was nice to be in Las Vegas when it was literally the coldest it's ever been. They said it was the coldest week in Pennsylvania in a decade while I was in Las Vegas. I was fine.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Food Bloggers Table. I'm your host, Jennifer Holt, and I look forward to serving you in the next episode.